Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry.
Welcome everybody to the Porsche Cup Series. We are here, round 2 at the Virginia International Raceway. Sponsored, of course, by the best serving electrical blackout that is serving in Southeast Queensland, electricians that are specializing in commercial and industrial renovations, fit outs, power systems, analysis, switchboard replacements, and everything you can possibly need for your electrical solutions. I am the Dean Biggles, joined by the other D, the Dan. Peps. Dan's going to call you Peps, right? Peoples?
Yeah, go
Peoples.
for it.
Yeah, of course. And here for, we're getting ready very soon for a open qualifying session of about 15 minutes. But that's the track, Dan. How do you find this track as a driver?
As a driver, it's a tricky one. We see this corner that we see on the screen right now. It's a difficult one. Turning, braking at the same time. Of course, the tight, twisty section. That is full throttle, though, in these Porsche Cup cars off Sector 1. Oh man, it's a great one. It's a difficult one to learn though. It's a tricky one, definitely one that does not allow for a lot of mistakes. But as I just said, like it's an incredible track to race at. As you can see, we're in practice at the moment. 2 minutes left of practice at the moment. It is Xander Reed who is on top in practice for the AMS. It is De Kusher who's on the top step there. But practice times, we both know, Biggles, do not matter at all. It's when it comes down to it in qualifying. And this track, only 4 laps for the drivers in those short 15-minute qualifying sessions. They're going to have to count.
You have to count, and at the moment we should. Dave, you don't mind pulling up the standings. So we've had that first round. We can kind of get an idea exactly how it all panned out from last week if you are tuning in this week. And Dan, if you'd like to go over those results of championship standings for everybody.
I will do it, but I will do it very quickly because it's a very, very big grid to get through. And I hope you understand that drivers without points, we will not name them, we will just go through them. Because 80 drivers in these standings. Samuel Sproul, of course, on top of, or ahead of Michael McLeod is second on 56 points. 58 points though for Sproul. 2 points between those drivers after the first round. Mikey Howanek in third. Excuse me if I butcher those names, Biggles. You might be able to help this one, or help me out on this one since you were here last week. Xander Reed, of course, the man who's in first now in fourth, doing a good job on 51 points together with Troy Fenelon, also on 51 points. 4 drivers even on 51 points. Charlie Puyer, I think that is, and Ariel Julian also on 51 points. 42 points for Adam Morrow in 8th. Then in 9th, it's Carl Ribbington, Mark Lampert, Dylan Van der Beek, in 11th, 12th, Rob Rodriguez, Colby Warren in 13th, 14th, Tyler Anderson, 15th, Sean Mulholland, in 16th, Bryce Rodriguez, 17th, Adam Schmidt, 18th, Dan Moreira, in 19th, we find ourselves with Michael Carillo, in 20th, Benjamin Harris, 21st, Charles Edwards, 22nd, Mark Darnell, and 23rd, Gary Watson. 24th, Benjamin Harris, as we take over into that all-important qualifying session for this race. Jeffrey Seabock in 25th, Shannon Motheral in 26th, 27th for Drew Stanley, 28th for Jonathan.
That's the one. That's the one. We were having a little bit of problems last week. Sorry about that one there, Jonathan, with your name. It's a bit difficult.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I'll quickly do this because it seems like it's overlapping itself.
Yeah, it's overlapped. Don't worry. We'll worry about that a little bit later on there because that's a lot to go through, of course, the drivers, and we're to get more and more. So I think we'll probably just cap it to 20 in the future. So if you want to get your name read out, get yourself in the top 20.
Here we go.
We'll think about that one.
We'll just quickly go through them. About 80 drivers who are in this... in this league, and enough of them have not scored points yet. Of course, points are on offer again today. Quickly then, we will go back to the AM standings. or the pro standings here. They are Samuel Sproul, of course, leading the way ahead of Michael in second, Mikey Hawanek in third, Troy Fenelon in fourth, fifth, Xander Reed, Ariel Julian in sixth, Charlie Poirier in seventh, Adam Morrow in eighth, Michael Carillo in ninth, 10th, Dylan Vanderbeek, 11th, Colby Warren, 12th, Tyler Anderson, Adam Schmidt in 13th, Bryce Rodriguez in 14th, 15th, Mark Lampert, 16th, Alexander Wilford, 17th, Manrik Valverde, 18th, Ryan Windfeld. And behind that, all drivers without any points in the pro class. A lot less drivers in here. Only 34 drivers, and we say only with, well, a strain of salt, of course, because that's still a lot of drivers. In the AM standings, Carl Ribbing in first, Rob Rodriguez in second, Sean Mulholland in third, Dan Morera in fourth, fifth, Michael Blaze, 16th, Charles Edwards, Matthew Wyckoff in seventh, Gary Watson in eighth, Mark Darnell in ninth, Shannon Moterial in 10th, Benjamin Harris in 11th, Jeffrey Seabock in 12th, John William in 13th, 14th, Drew Stanley, 15th, Jonathan Dekusher, hopefully I said that right, Jeremy Littleton in 16th, and those are all the drivers with points in 17th, it is Chris Gengaro, also with 2 points, 2 points also for Hayden Bush, Rafa Casacurta in 19th, those are all the drivers that round up the drivers with points. Here are all the drivers in the AM standings. Another, about 50 drivers in there with points. Quickly then, we will go down to the grid because the drivers are busy currently with qualifying. Biggles busy out on track, and at the moment it's Carl Ribbing, the AM driver, on pole position. Yeah,
they're starting to set those first laps in. 53.5 on the dial, as you can see to your top left. As there's quite a few drivers. Look at that. Looks like kicked up some grass onto that livery there. That's quite nice. Bit of green and gold on there for the car that you're focusing on at the moment. Give us a thumbs up out there if you enjoyed Dan reading everybody's name there, and if Dan got it correctly or not. Might have butchered a few of them, but don't worry about that. I'm the Biggles butcher of names. I'll probably do a lot worse, but yeah, a lot of people to go through.
Yeah, definitely. And having 80 people in the league is something unheard of, really. I don't even think you can actually get 80 people out there on track. But Carl Ribbing is doing it again. Purple in Sector 2, of course, in his own class. Lampers, however, though, he is in second. He's about 1/10 off of Ribbing. I'll get the current gap out on track. Here we go. That's the gap out on track.
Yeah, we need a track guide from you, Dan, as a race driver. That's the one thing I can't really give people too much unless it's a Formula 1 car on a Formula 1 track. But aside from this and a Porsche, you can push a GT3, you can tell me. Maybe on board with Carl at the moment. We can see as he's going to make his way around. Definitely finishing this lap with a good time. Will he be looking to make another one? Or not, Dan, while you're still on the pace, right? You put some more bankers in?
Well, 4 laps you have. He's on his second lap right now, coming towards the end of his second lap. As you see Xander Reed go to the pole position on 147.075. Not a bad lap time for Xander Reed. Across the line though for Carl Ribbing. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. There's Barney on the right hand side, hanging over the pit exit really. Across the line though for Ribbing. Goes up into second, but a 2.2 second gap for this man, and he's going at it again.
Yeah, and you can see some of those those purple sectors come up with some of those drivers, but I think at the moment to be able to steal 2 seconds away from this man, you're going to have to set majority of the purples. How is he handling this beast here in Virginia?
Well, I can give you a lap guide with someone who's coming towards the end of their lap. Here we go, Charlie Poirier. Here we go, he's coming towards the end of his lap. Here we go across the line. It's an interesting one, that first corner you break around board number 2. About 250, I would say, 250 meters in this car. You can lock up, of course, in these cars. No ABS, no traction control. Very easy to light those rears up on exit 2. Into corner 2, a very tricky one, turning and braking at the same time. Always difficult here in these Porsche Cup cars. Like I said, no ABS, so locking up is a common thing here in these cars. Then we go into the tricky, twisty section of Sector 1. From here on in, it is all pedal to the metal, Biggles. From here on in, it's full throttle till you go up the hill into the left-hander. So from here on, you will see going through turns 7 or 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Here we go through them. All full throttle for the drivers, easy done. And then this left-hander, brake early. You want to carry the speed through. And stay onto the left-hand side here. A tricky turning and braking point at the same time again. Want to wash out wide here to get a good cutback really onto this long straight. You do see sometimes drivers during practice go into the pit lane on the left-hand side. That would invalidate your lap here during qualifying. After only 4 laps, that's not something you want to do. Traffic up front. That is going to get out of the way. That is good for Charlie Pouliot. Now coming into this tricky braking zone, turning and braking at the same time again. Try and get this braking zone as straight as possible. Then this right-hander downhill, very tricky one. Into the left-hander again, and we once again drop downhill. This is the trickiest corner of the track. Braking, turning, and trying to point the car in at the same time. You don't want to go on power too early because you wash out to the outside. And once you hit that grass with the left-hand side tires, you are done and dusted. You can say goodbye to your lap. And well, you can say goodbye to your next lap too. Across the line we go for Charlie. Where is he going to put himself? He's going to put himself up into P6 with that lap, Biggles.
That was a great lap guide. Thank you very much for that, Dan. I don't realize how difficult it is to drive when you're talking about that braking and accelerating and turning, all that sort of stuff at the same time. Is, as you can see, especially a lot of those S's, it is now about a straight line, of course, as quickly as possible. As you said, that final corner can get tricky. Up the top of the hill can also get tricky. We did see Patrick up at a P2. Just replaced that Bruce Rodriguez there as Samuel the Australian. The 66 machine goes up to P4. That's Sproul, of course, the man that won the last race.
Oh,
getting it done for the Aussies. Yeah. I guess he's just parked that one off there because it's Hattie. Yeah. Aiden Young, welcome back, of course, and thank you very much, Aiden. Aiden was the one that introduced me to this Porsche Cup series and said, hey, Biggles, you know, we're looking out for some, we need some casters, commentators, and I said, well, sure, all right, and so thank you very much for that, Aiden. Otherwise, without Aiden, I might not have been here, Dan. We wouldn't have been here.
Hold on, Biggles. Patrick Hingston is going at it again. You can see it bottom right of your screen. 2 purple sectors, also 2 yellow ones. But that doesn't matter too much if you do not improve by 1,000 of a second and you gain 2 3/10s in the purple sectors. It could easily put you up into pole position. He doesn't need a lot, Biggles. He only needs 0.5 of a second green in sector number 5-2 across the line. He will come in just 2 seconds time, and we're going to see where he's going to put him. Reed can't do anything. He has done his laps, and he's good, and he goes into pole.
He's got it by 69 thousandths of a second there on Reed. That's right. What about Rodriguez? Can he do anything? What about Aiden, as I was mentioning? Michael McLeod. Got to keep out for the old Mike C, of course, the administrator. In P6 at the moment. Can they improve? We'll get an idea soon what the strength of field is too in a little bit after we covered all this excitement in the qualifying.
He's a driver in pole position at the moment for the AM class and 9th overall. That is quite a high position for an AM driver. Not too bad really. And we do have about 31 drivers here with us this evening, so 31 cars out on track, and with those 31 cars, you are just gonna have to fight, Biggles, to try and find some clear space on the track. Welcome also to Gojai Racing. Welcome to the stream, of course. Thank you for joining in on this. Well, for me, it is at the moment 2 p.m. At night, so or 2 a.m. at night. So
Friday, yeah, Friday for you, Thursday for us. In majority of us, I'm saying here in the Americas.
Yeah, time zones, they're crazy, isn't it?
Australia would be ahead, mate. That'd be probably even more crazy a time zone for you right now for that. And I've got 2 Costa Ricans in here too as well, which is fantastic. I don't think anybody else is going to be really necessarily improving. Well, they might be improving a little bit, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to dethrone their Patrick Kingston there for the
I don't think so.
pro class, as well as, I don't think anybody could probably dethrone Mr. Rob Rodriguez Jr. That's 2. That's Bruce Rodriguez.
Maybe Aiden Young across the line. Puts himself up P4. Yeah, P4, not bad for Aiden Young. Still, though, however, Biggles, you have to acknowledge the fact that he's in P4, but still 7/10 off of, well, Patrick Hingston, and that just tells you how quick those 2 at the front are. Xander Reid and Patrick Hingston. They are within a 10th of each other then. It's about 4 tenths back, so a 10th from Xander Reid to Bryce Rodriguez out on track at the moment. Here you can see him locking up, so that's not going to help his lap time. He's not going to improve this time around. Won't improve anyways. He has done his laps.
Well, Aiden just had some computer problems he was talking to me about earlier, Aiden Young, so he was stressing to, massively like a pit crew team trying to get the car ready together so he can get out on track. So I don't think he probably put much of time to practice. So you'd have to say it's pretty good there. And missing last week to get in there and put that car up to P4. As well, we don't know what all the other drivers, there's so many other drivers, of course, what they've had to be up to. If they've no doubt some drivers may have had time to put practice in, some drivers haven't had time to put practice in.
Well, P4 all the way down to P18 within a second. That just tells you how close the field just generally is. But just the top 3 really are at the moment, it seems like, Biggles, just in a class of their own, really. And I'm not saying that the rest is slow, not at all. Don't get me wrong here. And if you disagree, of course, let me know in chat too, because of course you can. There's no issue doing that. But the top 2 especially, they just seem in a class of their own. 7 tenths back to P4 for those 3 drivers. That's a big margin. That's about a Red Bull to the rest of the grid margin.
Yes, it is. Too soon, Dan. Too soon. But yeah, no, you're right. We don't know about the Red Bulls this season. It's but that's one thing to qualify, my friend. It's another thing to get the points to win in the race. Well, obviously it will indicate the pace, but they're going to get traffic, aren't they? They're going to have to navigate through that traffic, considering that pace that they have.
I don't know, Biggles.
And considering some of the drivers with, it happened last week, and considering some of those drivers with, about 2 seconds a lot slower.
Yeah, but last time was a shorter track too. This is a track that is very long. Just look at the lap times, 1:47. Last week we were doing about 1:14, 1:13. So that track a lot shorter. Of course, Brands Hatch. I'm sorry to all the UK people that I just offended with that.
There's none in here. You're okay. Unless they're watching. Everybody out on track is from the Americas and Australia.
The only driver out on track at the moment is Mikey Warnick, who will have a chance to improve. 2 minutes left for him. He's the only one really out on track improving, together with Drew Stanley. Only 2 laps done for this man. Just came across the line, puts himself up into P11 in the AM class, P26 overall. But I'm interested to see what can Mikey Warnick do. He needs about 1.1 seconds to get himself into pole position. Don't think he's going to get that. But if he can just gain 2 tenths, he puts himself up 2 spots into P9, Biggles.
He's got 1 sector to do it. And I tell you what, that's not bad timing, isn't it, to have the track all by himself? But he's just, there it is, a little bit of a blink there for a second. Here we go, across the line. What can the mics to do, Mikey? He said just a little bit of an improvement will be enough to get him up a bit higher.
There we go,
P4.
up to P4, wow. And he just slams it into a wall, yeah. Drivers out on track at the moment. Repair. This is Drew Stanley, he's improving again. But oh God, English not Englishing, I have to put my teeth in there. Drew Stanley, you have to see the fact that he's 8 seconds off of the pole position time at the moment. If you're going to run 8 seconds off the pace, you might well be right with the fact that we are going to see some lap traffic. However, though, a difficult track, this one. I've said it, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. This track is one you can't just jump into, Biggles, and expect yourself to be quick.
Big boy club track then. You're right. And everybody out there, Dan is from the Netherlands, so his English is his second language. He does a perfect English anyway, I'd say. Probably better than my English there, Dan, but yeah.
I'm trying my best.
Consult the Dutch. Consult your Dutch when needed. No, it's all good, mate.
Sometimes
you get excited, you see, and
yeah, but sometimes
we trip over our words.
Sometimes the difficulty you have is that you try to sentence an English sentence into the way you should normally sentence a Dutch sentence. So the sentence doesn't make any sense, really. A lot of
sentence that doesn't make sense. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Drew goes off, so I think that's banned that lap, and that's the dying stages of qualifying over now. As Barney's going to wave that flag, already has.
There we go. That's it. And well, let's get the grid up for you. Here we have it. It's going to be Patrick Hingston who's going to start this race from the pole ahead of Xander Reed, also together with him on the front row. That front row, definitely one to look forward to in that race. Less than a tenth between those 2 drivers. Bryce Rodriguez and Michael Warnick on the second row of the grid. Aiden Young and Samuel Sproul in 5th and 6th on the third row of the grid. Michael McLeod in P7 ahead of Charlie Puyer in P8. Troy Fenelon in P9. Ariel Julian in P10. Adam Smith in P11. Adam Morrow in P12. Then in P13, we have the first of our AM drivers, Rob Rodriguez. Jeremy Littleton in 14, Dan Morera in P15. 16, Patrick Hingston. 17, Michael Carrillo. 18th, Carl Ribbing. Aaron C. Hall in 19. 20th, Dylan Vanderbeek. 21st, Gary Watson. 22nd, Hayden Bush. 23rd, Luigi Santiago. Jeffrey Seabock in 24th. Mark Lampert in P25. P26 for Drew Stanley. Jonathan Dekusher. That's a difficult one. I keep
You got it, I think,
that
Dekusher.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. P28 with for Jean Rivera and P29 for John Causa. P30 for Tyler Anderson, and 31st and last on the grid, Charles Edward. That's a big grid to go through, Biggles, but I think at the pole position at the moment, here we have him. Here he is, Patrick Hingston, and what a job he has done. Put that car on pole position with a 147.005, I think it was, in qualifying. It's about time now, Biggles, to come to the 5 red lights and get round number 2 of the PCUP Challenge America underway.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting to see everybody make that run down into turn 1. Dan, you get to call the race starts, as I don't do that. You do it better than me.
Here we go.
But here the engine's power pour.
5 red lights are underway for round number 2 at Virginia International Raceway. Alexander Reed with a very good start. Patrick Hingston, though, not as good as he would have wanted. Down the inside, though, takes that first position back and holds on to what he had off the start. Bryce Rodriguez trying to make a move now on Alexander Reed. There's contact between the two. Further back in the field, though, everyone seemingly getting through cleanly. Aiden Young slots into 6th, lost a position off that start. Ariel Julian in 11th, also single file back. In the lead of the AM class, it's Rob Rodriguez Jr. Still in the lead of that. He didn't lose that lead. Up one position from where he started on the overall grid. Everyone so far so good, it seems like, Biggles.
Oh, it was just until somebody had a little bit of a moment off, and that looks like Sean William Rivera.
Here he is, Dan
has
Morera.
had a little, yeah, and there's Dan. I think they had a bit of contact there so far, but that, yeah, to be expected with a grid of 31 or so people going through some of these. See, as you said, it's a gentleman's track. It's a difficult track, and with that many people, not bad at all, you'd have to say. Patrick's still leading this one, as you can see in your pictures. And look in the further back here is Jeremy Littleton going side by side, a little bit on the outside there. So who's going to be tucking up on the inside? That is the red machine. Is that Aaron?
Yeah, it
Let's
is.
see if
Adam Morrow, who got past Jeremy Littleton there. That is not for class position, but for overall position. Further back, though, here is Aaron. Going for a move now on Jeremy. This is for class position. Can he make that move stick? Not quite. Pulls out of the slipstream, drives into a brick wall, Biggles.
Yeah, brick wall of other cars.
Yeah, brick wall of just pure air that he is hitting instead of the slipstream that he had from Jeremy Littleton ahead of him. Didn't quite get the run out of the hairpin that he really would have wanted to maybe really have a go at Jeremy. Everyone, well, seemingly so far so good, apart from Mark Lampert, Jonathan.
I keep an eye on Samuel there at the moment. Sproul, of course, the 66 machine, the Australian. He was really tucked up in the gearbox there for a second because he got past Aiden. That's right behind him. I think he made a little bit of an error there because it was getting very close to an overtake there on Mikey Hoanik and had to back off. You got the gap to the leader, I think, up at the moment.
Oh, he's off!
Who's off? He's
Samuel
off. There
Sproul,
it is.
the winner from
a little
last
bit
time
too
round.
soon.
Off the track, number 66, Biggles, you did your work. You commentated, Curse. Samuel Sproul off the track.
Sorry, Sammy.
Samuel Sproul, he will be
He's
in
going to have to
Biggles
sit there for ages and wait for all that traffic to go through too. You know, that's the only problem when you're so far up the grid, isn't it? And now finds a gap to get back out. Luckily, he's got more races to come. Of course, you've got a feature race. So, you know, if you do something wrong in the sprint race, don't worry about it. You've got another race to go.
Let's take a little look at what exactly happened there to Samuel Sproul. Seemed like he just went off track for a second. Here we go on it. This is already when he was off track.
He was battling. He had Aiden Young behind him, and I think he was battling for once again for Mikey. So
here it is.
Pace.
He's going to make that mistake. He's just going to hit the grass on the outside. No, there was contact between the two.
Yeah, maybe that was Aiden that tapped him.
Yeah, it was Aiden. Aiden Young tapped the number 66 of Samuel Sproul. And look how long he's got to sit there. Oh, he tries to spin the rear tires up to try and spin turn it, but also that doesn't happen for him. And the time that he spent there, it's ages and ages and ages, Biggles. And that time, let's be honest, you're never really going to gain back in this race.
Okay, but Adam at the moment battling for P7 and P8. That's Tony Felton and Adam Smith there. And I think there was an overtake. It was. If we can go back and have a look at that one.
Seems to be stuck on replay.
Second. Yeah. There we go. I think it's still stuck on a replay. Something's happening at the moment. We're still showing Samuel.
Trying to get it back to live pictures. But it seems to be stuck on replay for the moment.
Yeah, I might have to give one a little bit of a refresh. Or not reboot, but just a bit of a refresh. So there's Patrick, currently at the moment, our race leader that we have the pictures on, but that's still in a replay.
Yeah, it is.
Dan's on top of it. We'll get that. He'll get that sorted in a second. I'll just double confirm on my end that I'm not messing anything up with you, which I don't think so.
It is still Patrick Hingston, I think, in first place at the moment.
Oh. And Bruce Rodriguez has had a moment, so you might have to go to a replay of Bruce. Maybe that'll get you out of the replay. Bruce Rodriguez has had an off-track excursion and dropped all the way down. Where is Bruce? It looks like he's retired back to the pit road too.
Here, we're going to have a look at it here. Here it is. Oh, difficult corner, this one.
Rear end. Does he save it? No. Well, kind of. I think he's getting hit here. Yeah.
No.
I was going to say he had to get hit. He had to get hit because he's gone back into pit lane. He's towed back into pit road, and I thought, well, he did save it there. Also forced one of the other cars off there. It was just a racing incident. Unfortunately, a couple of cars. I think Aiden Young was also collected in that one too. And Michael McLeod went off track and back on. That's racing.
I think we're going to have to do it like this if we want to get back to where we are at the moment. This is the furthest I'm seemingly able to go. Yeah, here it is. We'll work on that in the background. Meanwhile, Biggles, go ahead.
Well, here's the same pictures. I think Mr. Reed. Let me just see if I can just check something real quick there while you go ahead with that. I can have a look on my end. Apologies about that. Yeah, there is definitely a battle at the moment there really occurring. I think I'm seeing Mr. Reed there, but that's just, I'm seeing Aaron there. So, mate, that's, yeah, probably because our leaders are starting to face some of the lap traffic at the moment there. Dan?
Well, they definitely are encountering lap traffic, and lap traffic is going to be a part, of course, with the drivers about 8 seconds off the pace. That is going to be, well, you're definitely going to be stuck behind some slower drivers then. And let's hope for at least the leaders that the lap traffic will not be an issue. Yeah, we're fighting the fires in the background.
Yeah, we are definitely trying to fight the fires. Both of us, actually, at this point. Just experiencing some too many cars out there. They're breaking the system. They're going too fast for it, Dan. Software can't keep up with the pace.
At the moment, it's not going back. I don't know. Maybe we ditch the replays at least for the next server. Well, we can keep it in replay and we can at least show the drivers what's going on.
Might have to just shut it down and reload it all over again. There, it shouldn't affect the pictures. Of course, they'll still be up there, but you won't see the overlays. I think Dan has to probably do that. Maybe. Whilst we've still got a little bit of time left in the race. 7 minutes or so into our 15-minute sprint. We've got 7 minutes, 8 minutes now into our 15-minute sprint. Let's get that software reloaded. But still with the timing tower that I'm seeing up here is Patrick still leading. Hingston from Alexander Reed. And then Mikey Hownick, Aiden Young in P4. Charlie Pereira, I think, in P3. Yeah, the 444 machine in P5. And then Troy Feldman.
Yeah,
P6,
like
Michael.
that.
Michael McLeod is in P7. Adam Schmidt is in P8. And
There we
another
go.
Adam. You got
Back
it
to
there?
live
Yep, there we go.
pictures.
Excellent.
Excuse
Sorry about
us
that, but
for
we are
that.
live. Yeah, don't. We won't test those replays just yet, as you mentioned there, Dan. But we'll try to keep the action and the pictures on the screen.
Well, we might have to ditch the replays, but that won't affect any of the action that we see here this evening on screen. Because so far it's been an amazing race, of course. And, well, we're going to continue once again our coverage of this race with live
Here we
pictures.
go.
And it's still Patrick Hingston in first position.
Ben Reed's putting pressure on him, isn't he? Trying to do different ways around. Doing everything he can for the driver from Texas, the 151 machine. Dan, I want to see if we can go on board, actually. I want to see how it feels. Here we go. How it feels to be driving in this Porsche right here. We are. Bonnet cam, as you can see. He's just going to apply that pressure, doesn't he, to Patrick? Just keep applying it. He knows he's got about 5 minutes to get it done. As Mikey's gone into the pit road there too. Panic, so must have some sort of damage there and has elected to perhaps not quite sure retire from the session. Yeah, it's Rob Rodriguez Jr. Now he, remember, started on pole for the AM class, or in the lead in the AM class, and he's now currently dropped back a couple of places.
Well, he's P3 in the AM class. I think he's actually up 2 positions on where he really started.
Yes, yeah, from where he really started, of course, but just a little bit behind the other 2 AM class drivers. It's going to be in. Remember, it'll be a reverse grid, so the.
However, though, look at this. He's going for it. Xander Reed is going to go on the outside for what will be turn 14. And he's not going to make it. He's once again going to have to settle for second place. And I do think that, well, the closer we get to that finish flag, the closer we get to that checkered flag, well...
There's a bit of crash too, but we can't show the replay necessarily of that one. Drew, Gary, Watson, Drew Stanley, and Luigi Santana there, I think, has had a little bit of a moment further back. But keep an eye on this, because this is, once again, a battle for the lead of the race. As you can see, Mr. Reed's really been trying to do, he knows at times not on his side at the moment. He's been trying. What do you think he can get this overtake done, Dan?
Well, it seems like it seems very difficult. Maybe on the run up here, if you can get a good exit now out of turn number 6, because that's really where you need a good exit from. Out of here, this is not full throttle quite. Here he needs a good exit, not as good of an exit as well Patrick Hingston has in front of him. So he's once again, it's going to take him some time before he starts to gain on him. He's gaining slowly but surely, but he needs to gain more. It seems like he has more wing on the setup on his Porsche. So not as quick in a straight line as maybe Patrick Hingston is, but a little bit slower in the quicker corners, or a little bit quicker in the slower corners.
But it looked like they both did have a little bit of a moment there, so it didn't really cost him too much time. But he's tucked up once again on the gearbox.
Now maybe he's again going to try it, and I think again he's going to be a half attempt too short really. He's not going to be able to make that move stick, I think. Xander Reed is going to go to the inside now, or the outside for the first part, which will turn to the inside of the second part. But again, backs out of that move, knows that he has maybe the opportunity to do it on the last lap. 1 minute 47 lap time, so we will have another, well, 2 laps after this one. So it's the next one and 1 more, and then, well, basically the sprint race will be done, and we will go into a 30-minute feature race. Hingston, as you can see, all over, or well, being attacked by Xander Reed, he's all over him. And again, he backs out of it. Is now going to go to the outside, again going to show him, I know I have the pace, I know I can overtake you. I'm just waiting for the right moment to do so, Biggles.
Oh, these are battle for top comes too for the iRating, my friend. That's 5.3 there for Higston, and Reed has 6.7. So, you know, they can certainly drive the pants off in iRacing. Certainly can drive the pants off these Porsches, but can't find a way around currently. Good defense, you have to say, there from Patrick as well, too. Just parking that car in all the right places and saying, all right, Mr. Reed, find your way around. Not going to be easy, but try your best. Other battles are occurring at the moment for P6 too. You've got Felden, Smith, and Morrow there going for it too for now. the Costa Rican driver there of Michael Carrello and Rob Rodriguez Jr. and Dylan are also battling out for a P11, 12, and 13 position. Problem is, if we take our eyes off this battle, we might miss something, and then we can't go back to the other one.
A good question there from Pat Sheridan in chat. Who's made the most movements on the grid at the moment? It's this man here down in P16. Charles Edwards. He's up 15 spots from where he started. Not too bad there from Charles Edwards.
Look at that livery too. That's a Jaguar or something on the side. Looks amazing. Well, he's got 15 at the moment. He's going to have to hold off there Ariel Julian. But Ariel Julian, you did see before there, had one of those off-track excursions with a few of those incidents there. So Mr. Julian's dropped 7 positions because of that, and trying to gain 1 back there, but he's going to get a good exit speed out of that one. Charles Edwards going to try to defend as much as possible.
I don't know what he did there. I think he tried to lift to not run into the back of Edward, but it seems like he lifted a lot there. Meanwhile, though, at the front, it is still the same battle. He's once again going to show him the outside, not able to get past. And Patrick Hingston is trying his best to defend from Xander Reed. But for how long can he keep this up? We are now definitely on the last lap of this race. And now he's going to maybe try it somewhere where where Patrick did not expect it. Does not succeed in doing so. A good exit he needs here. Otherwise, he's going to be left out to dry, basically coming out of the hairpin, Biggles.
Yep, this is it. But I think it's too far back really to do anything about it. It would have to be last of the late breakers or even a dive. And these drivers knowing, okay, it's going to be in a reverse grid. They're going to be looking at a P7 and P8 going into the feature race. I think, too, because you're in for a nice long season of racing, points to points, you grab them. You always want to make a race win. But at this point, do you want to really risk the chance of taking both drivers out just to squeeze a couple more points? I would say no.
That's 2 moves. That's 2 moves from Hingston. He can only go back to the race line. If he now goes back to the inside, that is considered weaving on the straight. He cannot go back to the inside. The inside is now for Xander Reed. He's going to go for it. Not quite able to get close enough there, Biggles. And I think he's going to have to settle for second here.
Yeah, I'll take a second because, you don't need to win races to win championships. You just need to get as many points as possible. But he's also knowing this is going to be, round 2 is going to resume between these 2 drivers in the feature race. So they're going to have another opportunity to go for it again.
Here we go. Across the line is Patrick Hingston, who will win race number 1, the sprint race here at Virginia International Raceway. In second, though, a very close second, 3.5 tenths only. Xander Reed. Aiden Young will come through in P3, all the way from P5 on the grid. He comes through to finish P3. Michael Pierre in P4. He came all the way down from P8. So some good movers here on the grid. Biggest movers in the grid. However, though, it is still the man in, P17. He's dropped down to Charles Edwards. And he's going to finish down on P16. Jeremy Littleton has won in the AM class. And here he is.
Yeah, great job for the Canadian driver there to win the Twisted Racing team for the AM class, as you mentioned.
Here we go across the line for Charles Edwards too. Is he going to keep that position or is he going to lose another one to Sproul? No, he's not. Sproul's too far back. All in all, though, Biggles, I think not a bad opening race here at Virginia International Raceway.
Not bad at all. Yeah, a few incidents. We do apologize about technical details. Those race results will come up again there in a second. And then I think we'll have a short little break after that, Dan, so we can try to sort out any of the other little technical glitches so we can bring you all the action, of course, for the feature race.
Oh, this is Dylan van der Beek. This is what happened earlier on. Now, we do know that if the replay...
He had damage before that. Did you notice that? Before that incident, I think.
Yeah, he did. That car's crabbing. That car's crabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Replay seemed to be working, and that's good news for the feature race.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll get that banged up, bit of gaffer tape.
Here we go. That is the result. And Biggles, well, why didn't you lead us through
You can make me read through those results.
Here we go. Why don't you read us through it? Here we go. There we have him.
You can't put it to me. Patrick, of course, has done it there and won that race there. And a great battle he had between Xander Reed going for two for now. You have to give that Aiden Young. I mean, he just made his way up there, of course, in his debut race of the season. Charlie Perreira, they're just ahead of Michael McLeod there. Troy Felnington, Adam Schmidt there, Adam Morrow.
The two Adams.
Jeremy Little, two Adams. Jeremy Little, because the AM class, leader of the AM class, with Rod Rodriguez Jr. and the other AM class behind him. Aaron C. Hall, you got Carl Ribbing, Dylan Vanderbeck, Michael Carrero, and Dan Moreno, and Ariel, Julian, Charles Edward, Samuel K. Sproul, that we saw was at the top of the timesheets and had that little bit of a moment. The Australian driver went all the way back there. Jennifer DiCuscia. I'm going to own, and then Luigi Santiago there. I'll read out the 20. And then the rest of the names you can see on the list. You can go through those rest of those names. 27, I think, finished.
Well, I don't know why Patrick Hingston, honestly, is in P20. Because that seems to me like a weird one, honestly. If we go back up to the top, you can see Patrick Hingston is also in first. Patrick Hingston is down on P21.
That is a very, very interesting. Yeah, I can't see two of them on there. This is exactly. Some sort of, he's cloning himself.
Oh no, there is. There are two Patrick Hingstons. There are two. Yeah, there are two. Here you go. This is, if you look on the bottom right, Patrick Hingston, the number 22 car, and Patrick Hingston in the number 93 car, and that is of course Patrick Hingston, the driver who won it. I do have to say, Biggles, the Australians not doing it too well.
Not at the moment, mate. Not at the moment. But did you worry about that? Come back. Hopefully, you could saw that was a little bit of a moment that came back in there. They also collected a couple of the other drivers. Hopefully, we'll see whether or not we'll get that. We'll hopefully get that. Everything should be good to go for the replay system. Of course, going to the feature race.
Here we go.
Reverse
Here we have the grid. It is a reversed.
Top 8.
Yeah, a reversed top 8. Adam Morrow will start this race in pole position. Adam Schmidt in second. Troy Fenneran in P3. Michael McLeod in P4. Charlie Poirier in P5. Aiden Young in P6. Xander Reed in P7. And Patrick Hingston in P8. All the rest will just go through because you've just seen them during the results, and nothing will have changed. All the drivers will start that way. Here we go, all the 31 drivers. We've had them all, and here he is, the man in pole position.
Gas. The 5, 6, 8 car, that's Adam. It would be interesting to see. You can obviously keep an eye out for the battle between P7 and P8. Now the two drivers. Here we go, Dan.
It is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Last time they went now very quick. This time they do too. And green. Adam Morrow with a good start on the inside line. Adam Schmidt, though, on the outside is going to look to carry the speed round the outside. He has to watch out for Troy Fenneran on the inside too, who's going to try and make his way past. Yes, he is. There he is. He made his way past on the inside. And the man in P3 is off. Adam Schmidt is all the way off the road. Had a good starting position, but all that has come undone basically in the first 2 corners of the race.
Just like that, yeah, it's unfortunate. And now you've got a 30-minute race, so it's a little bit longer. Michael McLeod now, but the KY Jellyfish team's up in a P3 there, and everybody else sees up to shoot. But look at that. Xander Reed, 3 positions going, already up in a P4. The man that just, wants to win this race right now, of course, because he lost it out too just before. We'll see how that's going to pan out. Where is... I was going to say who he's battling with. I can't quite see at the moment.
It's Charlie Poirier who he's battling with at the moment. Is Patrick Hingston. Here we go. Patrick Hingston, of course, winner from the last race. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. It seems like, however, though, his biggest competitor, Xander Reed, has already got up into P4. It's already a bit of a gap, and it seemed
I wonder what happened to Patrick. Yeah, exactly. Because Patrick is... So there's 2 Patricks, of course, in this one.
He started a little bit further back.
There he is. Yeah.
He started a little bit further back than Xander Reed, of course, with that reversed grid. And it seemed like Xander Reed is getting a bit of a better launch off the grid. A little bit further back in the field, though. This is Bryce Rodriguez and Patrick Hingston side by side going into turn number 14. On Virginia Raceway, there's a bit of a crunch up ahead. And it seems
you
like
said no ABS, no traction control, none of those goodies. It's man and woman versus machine. That's why you're seeing those lockups. As you said, a little bit of puff of smoke there. No doubt that it will be occurring, but look at this. Maybe a 3-way battle here happening, Dan. I don't see that too often here in Virginia.
Not at all. Well, who's going to make it 3 wide? That's
on
going
the
to be Patrick
grass.
Kingston. Oh, look at that!
Oh, there it
Both of
is.
them are off the track. And, well, that is in a straight where they collided. That is clumsy, basically. And that was not needed at all on the straights. However, though, it did still happen. Well, both drivers well out with a chance of winning their respectable classes. Patrick Kingston, though, he saw it all. He had front row seats to it. And he, well, capitalized massively from that.
Absolutely. That's what you got to be at the right place at the right time. I kind of saw the writing on the wall on that one, didn't I, Dan? I think you did it as well, too, when you're seeing 3 cars abreast like that. That was before the corner. So even if it didn't happen on the straightaway, I guarantee you something might have happened in the corner at that point, too.
Here he is. He's already come up to Adam Morrow. Xander Reed is not leaving anything on the table here in the early stages of the feature race. Already up the back of Adam Morrow. That gap was a little bit closer, a little bit earlier on this race, but now through the hairpin, he's now going to try and get him. And he's, well, no grass growing here for Xander Reed. He's onto the grass on the right-hand side. The inside stoutly defended by Adam Morrow. He says, I'm not going to let you pass easily here. He's going to have to make his way quickly because it seems like Patrick Kingston a little bit further back in the field is also trying to make a move. Here he is. Look at that up ahead. It's getting very close between Michael McLeod and Fenelon too.
Yeah, this is where I think Reed's going to be like, he's going to get probably a little bit more aggressive soon, Xander Reed, because he's like, look, I've been following a car in the first sprint race the whole time, okay? Now I have the opportunity, and he's behind me by a couple of cars. But Mr. Xander Reed wants to get past Adam and Moraro and just get it done with it and try to run away with this race and not have to have that pressure he had before. And I think he just got the job done. No, that's because, Adam's made a mistake somewhere. Adam's gone off track, I think, there.
Yeah,
he's down to P9.
Here he is.
Where is he? Is the car look dinged up? I can't quite see. It's just an off-track excursion somewhere there.
Here we go, we're going to see it now. Oh, he's defending the inside very late already, but that move was just okay. And then too deep into turn number 1, locking up all 2 tires, or the, front right tire, the inside tire, which is very easily done, of course. Most load on the front left. And, well, that is him down at least 8 positions, back down into P9.
Yeah, just like that, one little bit of mistaking and drop some places. Could have been a lot worse, but remember, because he could have had to wait for all the other cars to go past, but luckily just found a little bit of a gap, get that car back on track there.
This has now allowed, though, Xander Reed to stretch his legs finally and, well, try and make ways away from Patrick Kingston, who's now going to try and make his way past Troy Fenelon. Is in P number 2. Not too bad, I have to say, from Troy Fenelon to, well, at least keep Patrick Kingston behind for the amount of time he's done so far.
Yeah, and Patrick's just set the fastest lap of the last lap, so you know that Patrick's going to be hunting him down too for now. Troy's going to try to do, and Mr. Xander Reed's going to be sitting there hoping that, Troy can hold up Patrick as long as possible. Otherwise, you're going to see the Patrick and Xander Reed show again for the feature race, and that's a pretty dinged up car there from Aiden Young, so he's had an adventure somewhere. You can see the damage on the side.
Now, 1 + 1 is 2 for me, and it seems like if you look at the rear from Rodriguez's car, that is all banged up too. So maybe those 2 have made contact, maybe not, but 1 + 1 in my book is 2. Front end damage, rear end damage is contact between the 2.
Yep, you'd be a great police officer in a crash investigation scene, figuring that one out for sure there, mate.
Oh no, Biggles. Maybe we're going to see it. Luigi Santiago at the back of the field.
All by himself too, definitely not agreeing with this track. Because someone's going to lock up on the rear there, yeah.
Yep.
That's good, but look, he's got nothing to lose. So don't worry about it. You just go, drive your own game, drive your own race. And you can afford to make mistakes like that. Our problem is when you're at the top of the timesheets, that's when you don't want to be making those mistakes. But have fun, get experience. So as I said, probably some of these drivers haven't had much time to even get any experience around this track. So at least they are right now, I'd say. Even in a league race, even if you're, not up the top there and you're running at the back, you're still getting yourself some crucial experience. And in racing scenarios. Look at that speed sensation camera there. That's my GoPro that I put out there before, Dan.
And
so take it easy, drivers.
That is also Patrick Kingston, Biggles going past Troy Fenelon for P2, and now we can chase down Xander Reed at the front of the field. The gap is 2.3 seconds. We saw how closely matched these two drivers were, well, basically in the sprint race. So I think it's going to be difficult, though, for Xander Reed to make up that gap. However, though, he's now unleashed and he can now show his full potential.
Yeah, you can see also as well, too. So your gap to leader at the moment is 25 seconds all the way down to Julian. We'll get that interval gap coming up on a little bit too, as you're seeing Michael McLeod there, and just getting past Troy as well. So that's another position, unfortunately, dropped there from Troy Felton. Felon. I'm going to get his name properly at one point, but that's... Remember, it was a reverse grid, so you got some drivers a little bit out of position, but that's because these guys are lapping at the moment in the 48s, so mid-48s. You got the Reed and the Patrick Hingston show up at the moment. They're in the 47 club. It's only one 47 club here. Thank you very much for those intervals out there. So everyone will see those battles that are on track as well. As you can see, thank you very much, Dan, for your fantastic production work here in the Americas. Welcome.
Aiden Young,
who's
look
off
at
in
that.
the background?
Yeah, there's a car in the background that was off that looked to be Adrian or Ariel Julian, and he is off again. And that is going to allow Ariel Julian past. It was actually Drew Stanley who was off in the background, the number 123. Look at that. Who's that in the BWT sponsored livery coming through now? That is Patrick Hingston. He's going to try and make his way past Drew Stanley too. Don't know if we can see what happens to Drew Stanley.
Patrick Hingston's number 2. Remember the other one's currently in P2.
Here we go. This is what happens to Drew Stanley. Maybe contact. Let's hope that's not the case. It's not the case as far as I can see. Just spun it on his own.
There's no damage.
No, he spun it on his own, Biggles.
And that white livery, it's really hard. It's almost impossible to see he's got his headlights on too. It's matched evenly too with the livery, but here we go. This is back to the live pitches, and that is still continuing. He's going to make his way back here. Dan, side by side. Can he tuck in just in there? Not quite yet. This is a Patrick Hingston 2 battle of Drew Stanley just there ahead. 1, 2, 3 versus the 2, 2, 2 machine. Double twos, not 22.
This is a battle though. Samuel Sproul making his way back through the field. He's up to P9. That is at the moment P6 in the pro class, because P6, 7 and 8 all, well, had by an AM driver. So all AM drivers in P6, 7 and 8. So
yeah, just let everybody know out there, if you're not unsure of it, the pro ones have the green little stripe next to the name, and the white will be your AM.
Indeed. That's the case, Biggles, and you can see it at the top too. You can see the leaders of each class. Littleton is leading the AM, that's why the AM is white, and Pro is green, and Reed is leading that at the moment. Xander Reed, here he is. We haven't given him much screen time so far in this race, of course, because he's been the leader and he hasn't been involved in too many fights. The gap also to Patrick Hingston Patrick Hingston behind, opening up to. That gap was once 2.3 seconds. Biggles is now 3.1.
Yeah, it's because Mr. Reed's been putting in some nice bank laps there. He's been a 47.3, a 47.8. So he's shaving about 0.3 there off Patrick lap by lap in the clean air. Getting his head down, getting it done. And we know how hard it was to overtake between those two drivers before. So I think Patrick's time, if he does manage to catch Alexander, he's going to have to do the same thing like they did in the sprint race. And that's, as you said, not going to be an easy task, but still lots of racing to go, as we're just down about 10 minutes or so left. No, 19 minutes, sorry. 20 minutes or so to go.
Look at it, Samuel Sproul looking up to the eye. Another one, Biggles. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's number 66 of Samuel Sproul looking to go around the outside now of Aaron C. Hall. Not going to be able to do that. Is Aaron C. Hall going to shoot wide? Yes, he is. And now on the cutback, maybe Samuel Sproul. Not going to be able to make that stick, but he's definitely looking to eye up these Sam drivers, well, in front of him, Biggles.
Well, he wants to. Remember, he was our race winner last week, so we know he's got the pace. Problem is, he's in a different field. That's how. Yeah, that's Hall.
Hall off the track, and
with that livery, you couldn't even tell if there's grass all over it or not, could you? But yeah, he's definitely into the grass there. He has to slow and let these cars through, unfortunately, because they're going through the high-speed S's, and it's back on the power. And once again, well, mate, you got about 20 minutes or so to go, so you should be to 18 or to go. So get your head down and try to get some positions back.
Here we go. It is going to be Aaron C. Hall who went round there a little bit further up the road, though. This is a big battle between all of these drivers, really. It is Samuel Sproul, Adam Morrow, Dylan Van der Beek, Michael Carrillo, all involved in this battle. So all of them are still in with a shot at least P6, if not more, because Samuel Sproul has actually lost touch a bit to Rob Rodriguez. Of course, he's gaining on him. We saw the collision that he had with Aaron C. Hall, and that has allowed him now to chase down onto the second down driver, Aaron C. Hall. Don't remember, he will, or if you remember Biggles, he was on the podium in the AM class, and that has dropped him right out of the podium. And he's gone again. He's into the pit lane. Aaron C. Hall.
Too much damage, I presume, and has to get some repairs done.
No, that's not the case, Biggles. We're gonna have a look at it. Here he is, trundling along. And, well, he's going to brake too late, isn't he? Yeah, he is. By, and you shoot wide. And is he going to get that car stopped? Yes, he is. Just, well, exits back to pit lane.
Might be a retirement or not. You hope not, because points are still up for grabs, regardless of where you're really going to be finishing here. Well, certainly some of those positions.
Mikey
is the Floridian driver there of Mikey. Currently running in P15. You have to say, too, the AM class drivers are doing pretty good there in P6 and P7 overall.
Yeah,
they've got that gaggle of cars behind them, as you mentioned there, for the pro class.
The gap between Rob Rodriguez and Jerry Middleton, who are the two AM drivers in the top 10, is, well, about 1.8 seconds. So the battle for the lead in the AM class not quite on. Neither is the battle for the lead in the pro class and the battle for the lead of this race overall. That gap is still opening up to about 4.2 seconds. Like I said, it did look like Sander Reed was just a bit faster than Patrick Kingston, really. Just wasn't able to get past in the sprint race. However, though, Rob Rodriguez in P7, he's doing a tremendous job of keeping Samuel Sproul behind him at the moment, Biggles.
I think, unfortunately, Mr. Drew Stanley had a moment as well, Tony. He's retired back in the pit road, if you want to see what happened to the Drew Star. And that's the 1-2-3 car here.
Oh,
now,
no.
there's another. He's had a moment earlier, remember, and not agreeing with this track here.
Oh,
yeah.
Doing the
This is
same
through
again.
the S's.
On power, just spun it round and had enough of it.
Getting a pretty busy pit road down there at the moment there, Dan.
Yeah, it is. It's getting really busy there. And I mean, it's an expensive parking lot too, because these cars, I don't know exactly what they are, but a lot of money, let's put it like that. Someone like us wouldn't be able to buy it to go racing, really.
What do you mean? I could buy that pocket change, no problems. Big for yourself. Two battles forming on at the moment. So you do have Mr. Michael McLeod there, tucked up in the back there of Troy's machine. That's the 48 you see on your picture there. That's that one battle. And, of course, Samuel's battling with Mr. Rodriguez for the P7 and 8 positions, of course. And there's 9 and 10 positions. You can see there on your left-hand timing towers. When he gets into the oranges, that means they're pretty close. If it gets into the reds, I think you're in trouble. I think it goes to the reds there, Dan.
Yeah.
Look at this. Mr. McLeod here for the KY Jellyfish team. Try to wiggling his way past. I'm trying to get some of those puns. I'm a bit rusty tonight in those puns, Dan. I haven't thrown too many out yet.
Well, this race is filled with so much excitement that, well, putting those punts in is a bit difficult. So much excitement to call off. Sander Reed has just put in the fastest lap of the race on a 147.320. That is only about 3/10 off of what got him pole position in the, well, basically the sprint race for Patrick Kingston.
The only thing I'd be a little bit cautious about, because he has a nice gap. He's been consecutively lapping about 3/10 or so quicker than Patrick. But I think at this point now, you kind of have to tell your driver, when you're as an engineer, slow down a little bit. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous if you do risk it for the biscuit too much, throw away that P1 position that looks currently at the moment getting closer to being guaranteed. But hey, if he's feeling comfortable in the car, good. But
I don't know,
once again,
Biggles.
you want to make sure you finish. You want to make sure you finish the race, but
You tell a racing driver not to push. That is going to be difficult, I can tell you that much. But yeah, racing drivers as they are, they will always give it their everything. So will Samuel Sproul now. He's been stuck behind Rob Rodriguez for quite a while now. Not been able to really get past the
who's off in the
American.
background? That looks like yeah, Adam Morrow's gone off.
Again.
That's the gas machine. Yeah,
The
remember
man
he
who
was
leading
on
early
pole.
Yeah.
Well, because of the reverse grid. Yeah, exactly.
And he's again
Too
gone
much
off.
gas, mate. Too much gas on the gas pedal.
There we
I'm
go.
not quite
There's
sure
a
what happened
pun.
on that one. I think I did that last week there. So we'll see. Is that a pit lane? No, it's a little bit of netcode. Still there.
Here is Samuel Sproul again. Just can't. He just seemingly can't get past Rob Rodriguez Jr. Rob Rodriguez Jr. doing well, giving him a masterclass in defending.
Yeah, masterclass in the AM class. There you go. There's your pun there, Dan.
Well, another one. You said you were going to look at him, and well, you've thrown about 3 in a minute's time. So yeah, well, there we go. That's Biggles for you, ladies and gentlemen. The king of the puns and the butcher of the name, Samuel Sproul. Samuel Sproul.
James
like
is pretty
I said.
good. James is pretty good at that with the puns. Doesn't butcher the names as much as I do, but yeah. Let's see, Samuel. Oh, come on, my friend. Let's
Closest
see
battle on
if you
track,
can get
this
it done. Easier said than done, isn't it? We go on board actually right now and just see the 66 machine. If gap car, really.
Here is Samuel Sproul. Got to see if he's going to be able to do anything, really. I don't think he is. Here we see him.
Distraction is on his helmet as well. On
Good
the side of the
exit.
car.
Good exit. He's going to get him. He's going to get him, because I can tell you that much. Look at the exit that Samuel Sproul got. Ducks to the right-hand side. Sells him the dummy. And there we go. It is going to be Samuel Sproul probably up into what will be P number 7 right now. No, they're still side by side. And he's going to come back at him. He's going to shoot right across the track. And that is not what you would have wanted.
I think we lost the other driver.
Rodriguez, he's back into the pit lane.
Yeah, Rob went off the track there as they went through there. So something happened to Rob. And yeah, have a look at this replay here. Now, Rob goes onto the grass. You keep an eye on Rob. That's the car to the left-hand side. That's the 166. He goes into the grass here. Oh, that was straight into the fence. That's the reason why he went back out. Back into the pit road. That's another one that's claimed a victim. That's high-speed impact. I hope you're okay there, Rob.
That's a difficult one to take for that man. He was doing so well in P2 in the AM class, really. No pressure. He didn't even need to keep Samuel Sproul behind him. And he still made that unforced error. Here is Rido now, going to make his way through some lapped traffic.
Yeah, that traffic was making it 100% easier for Xander Reed, but Xander Reed still has that nice buffer of, as you can see in the timing tower, about 4.5 seconds, which is a lot to make up on this track, considering the pace that he's doing and in the pace that Patrick is doing in P2. As I said, they're the only drivers that are in the 47 clubs and have been averaging the 47s, about the mid 47s that they've been averaging. Everybody else, really, in from P3 down until about P16, 17, are in the 48 club.
Well, the only one really now in the top 10 as an AM driver is Jeremy Littleton. Ahead of that, though, look at this. Troy Fenderland going at it together with Charlie Pouyer or Michael McLeod.
Michael McLeod.
Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
So those two going at it, and it's going to be Michael McLeod who's going to, well, once again, get past him. His teammate is going to try and do the exact same.
I wonder if they're going to work together as teammates here and
I don't
apply,
think so.
you know, the Feldon sandwich isn't in between them. No, you can't really help your teammate out that much, I guess, can you? Because you have to back them up.
Yeah,
and that also puts you at risk, doesn't it, of getting the overtake back down on you.
Yeah, well, it's not a thing that we see done usually. Someone who also had a crash was Hayden Bush. He's gone off track. Here it is, that replay. It took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to do. Hayden Bush in the white livery. There was already some damage onto the right-hand side of that car. He's just going to spin. Yeah, there we go. That's an easy one. And he's going to go all the way back onto the track now. Oh, almost takes a board with him.
Yeah, he decided not to take the board with him and went around it. It's only styrofoam there. Hayden, you can hit it. I believe it just pops back up again. Those marshals that are around here in Virginia International Raceway that risk their lives to come out there and put those boards back up. The virtual world. Here's Jeremy.
Let me tell you what here, Biggles. Jamie Littleton, AM driver, is in with a chance of a podium still here. We do have to watch the fact that Samuel Sproul is coming up behind him and is probably going to overtake him within a lap or two time, but he is still in with a shot at the podium here. Look at this. Well, ahead of him, P5, 4 and 3 are still within reach. If something happens in front of him, he's there to pick up the pieces, and we would see an AM driver on the overall podium.
Oh, would actually be very impressive, but I think he's got to keep Samuel behind him. And Samuel, of course, well, the sponsor there of our Blackout Electrical. You know, that's one thing you don't have to worry about with Samuel. They won't have any electrical problems in that car, I guarantee you that, because he could fix it. Probably even while he's driving. That's how skilled they are. And if you're in Southeast Queensland and need some electrical work, well, talk to this man. As, well, Patrick in P2 there has just put in the fastest lap for the first time. Actually, just to replace that one from Mr. Xander Reed, but there's still that 4.5 second gap. But currently at the moment, this is the action, and you can see the battle there, essentially, for P3. There's all those cars there, mate.
I think it's a fact of, or a case of just too little, too late for Patrick Hingston, really. Don't think he's going to be able to catch our 4.7 seconds on Xander Reed, who's been so mightily quick in, well, the opening 25 minutes. Well, the first 25 minutes of this feature race. 5 minutes to go, of course. We're on lap number 14. And, well, I don't think he's going to be able to catch up those 5 seconds within those 5 minutes. He would need to gain a second per minute, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that on someone who's been running so consistently, so quick.
And Xander Reed, he's once again, his engineers, they've told him, slow down. We need you to bring it home. He's not really slow. There's still 47.3, 47.2s that they're doing, so they're not going any slower. They're actually, if anything, going a little bit quicker. But they're feeling comfortable with the car, at one with the car. Xander Reed does have a little bit of traffic again of the 21 machine. You can see on that track map all the way down the bottom as they're going to be approaching, start another lap, and you can see where that 2 dot is as well, because that's because Patrick just cleared a traffic as well, back marker. I did tell you you're going to be trafficking this race. You didn't believe me, did you, Dan?
Well, I didn't think we would have drivers 8 seconds off the pace, honestly. I thought maximum maybe 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds off the pace. And if that was the case, this track is way too long to have traffic. But look at this, Samuel Sproul gets a good run out of the last corner. Going into what? The last 3-4 laps now. Samuel Sproul is going to have a good go. Jamie Littleton. And is Jamie Littleton going to be a little bit smarter than the other AM drivers were last time round with Samuel Sproul? Yes, he is. He is going to give him the inside, and he is going to let him pass, really. And he doesn't need to fight it too hard because it is a different class. And if Jamie Littleton can just win the AM class and can just win his class battle, his second place in the AM class is all the way down on 13th, 14th even now. So, well, enough positions to be gained there, or enough points to be gained there by Jamie Littleton. So he doesn't fight that one too hard and allows Samuel Sproul up into P6 in this race.
Yeah, because you can see Carl here you're looking at the moment. That's second in the AM class. So a bit of a gap between them. No problems whatsoever, you'd have to say there. So Jeremy Littleton, because of the Twisted Racing team, just needs to sit there and, you know, take that class victory for him. Because he wants more points on the board. They still want to beat the pro class drivers, don't you? At the end of the day. But you gotta choose your battles wisely. Because it's going to be a long season. You're only on round 2. Points are points. And in fact, if anything, just I would say be happy to sit there and watch Samuel now battle it out with Charlie, because you know if they get a bit of a tangle, he'll take those places back. But at the moment, you don't want tangles. But Samuel, of course, is The most improved driver? Actually, sorry, my apologies. Bruce Rodriguez in P9 has got 15 positions gained, but you still have to say Samuel getting 12 is not a bad job
wrong.
considering.
Mikey Warnick, 17 positions
17.
gained.
Yeah, whoops, there it is.
He came all the way from P28 and is now on P11. Could potentially gain some more. However, he's off the track.
That was on you, Dan. That's all
However,
on you.
yeah, I am going to have a mad Mikey Warnick in my DMs later on in this race. That is not what you want to see. And we caught him in the act there. And that is not what Mikey Warnick would have wanted. And he is off the track.
Can you replay that? Because I wanted to see if it just went straight on. It definitely looked like there was a turn. I wonder if that was a technical thing or if he just literally lost it.
No, he just breaks the
after,
lane. Young
after this,
making the
make
move
it, yeah.
on Bryce Rodriguez. They're still side by side. No, they're not. Bryce Rodriguez is allowed and passed. And there we go. That is Aiden Young up into P9. Still, though, however, Biggles 3 positions down on where he started. We're going to have another look at what happened to Mikey Warnick.
Yeah, I just wonder if it was that's a high-speed incident. So see if the car just is there still twitch of the steering wheel there? Yeah, there was a twitch of the steering wheel. So sometimes when you see somebody get on the fence straight on like that, Dan, you know it could have been like some sort of technical glitch, but it was a twitch of the steering wheel, so it made me believe he was trying to steer it. Unfortunately, car didn't return the favor.
He was trying to turn it, but the car said, no, I do not feel like turning in this corner. Not today and not this lap. And, well, you're going to have to try next time around again. But he did not try it another time. That car not wanting to continue after that incident. Probably radiator issues and everything, cooling issues, because we know that in this Porsche, the radiator, of course, is at the front. And with a shunt like that, you're probably going to damage the radiators too, which will mean that your engine temps will be running high. And with that, you can't really do a whole lot. What I do know is that this man, Xander Reed, is going to go on to the last lap of the race. He is already on to the last lap of the race. And Patrick Hingston is at the moment 5.9 seconds behind that. Was never able, let's be honest, Biggles, to make a dent into the gap that Xander Reed had after he got through, what do we put it, the slower drivers at the beginning of the race in the reverse grid. Because let's be honest, these top two are just in a league of their own at the moment. You can see it 12.7 seconds back to McLeod, who has about 1.5 seconds back to this massive battle between Charlie Puer, Fenneman, Sproul and Middleton behind.
Maybe another run here for the Blackout Racing 10 there, Samuel, but not quite there. Has to realize you've got to tuck in through those S's, otherwise you're off into the grass. I mean, whatever happened there with Patrick Hingston, he just couldn't get the race start that he needed. The race start worked out a lot better there from Xander Reed for the second feature race, and that was it. Like, once that, Xander only had to, it took him a few laps, of course, to get past one of the other drivers to eventually get that P1. Constantine just got that P1. He just ran away with that one. You have to give it to Patrick, but for having to fight his way back into the battle. But remember, too, Dan, they are, 6.7k and 5.3k I rating, so they're a lot ahead of many of the other drivers here in the field.
Across the line once again. This time round, he is not in P2. He wins the Xander Reed in the feature race of round number 2. The roles are reversed. Patrick Hingston, this time round, is going to be in P2, 5.8 seconds behind Xander Reed. Does that, however, though, not with the fastest lap, because that is in the hands of Xander Reed too. So a grand slam in race number 2. Fastest lap and the win. But what a race for him. Jeremy Middleton also across the line to finish first in the AM class. Carl Ribbing is also going to come across the line to finish first or second in the AM class. Great drive from him. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Porsche doing a pirouette.
Car not refundable.
It's got to be a big repair bill for Porsche.
It's the end anyway, the checkered flag. So they did that sometimes, a bit of a showing off. Doing jumps at Bathurst and all sorts of track stuff you would be doing. Yeah, definitely give it to Jeremy Littleton as well too for the Twisted Racer. He got very, very close, I believe, to Charlie that P6 position. You could see there, only less 1/10 off towards the very end there of stealing that pro class position away, but didn't have to worry about it because he's won the AM class.
Well, Ukasha coming through the last sector now. Gonna turn his way on to the start-finish straight to get across the line. And what a drive from him. Samuel Sproul is the only one out on track still. 13 positions up across the line. And everyone has finished this race. Biggles, finally time for us as he smashes it. Oh, he's deeply stuck into that wall. As he smashes it into the wall, that gives us some time to finally be able to breathe. After, Biggles, you've gone through the top 20 of
You're not making me go through that there again, Dan.
Well,
yeah.
For this time, because it's you, Biggles, I will do it. It's Xander Reed who will finish this race, of course, ahead of Patrick Hingston. The roles are reversed to heat race number 1. Michael McLeod in P3, the last one on the podium. Then Troy Fenelon in P4. Samuel Sproul on P5. Beer in P6. And Littleton, the first one of the AM drivers. Dylan van der Beek in P number 8. P9 for Aiden Young. A great drive for him. Still lost 3 positions where he started, but after that short little incident he had all the way at the beginning of the race, a good comeback drive for him. Then we have Bryce Rodriguez, the man who gained the most amount of positions in this race. 14 positions gained for him. He's down in P10. Adam Schmidt in P11. P12, we find ourselves Adam Morrow ahead of Carl Ribbing in P13. P14 for Michael Carlo. And P15 for Dan Moreira. P16 for Ariel Julian. P17 for Jeffrey Seabog. P18 for Gary Watson. And P19 for John Krauser. P20 for Hayden Bush. P21 for Aaron C. Hall. Mikey Hawanik. We saw that crash from him. Did not get to the finish line. All drivers that I'm going to say now did not make it to the finish line. Rodriguez, Stanley, Edward, Hingston, Lampert, Santiago also didn't make it to the finish line. Neither did Dekusher. Anderson and Rivera also didn't make it to the finish line.
Good job there, Dan. Absolutely fantastic. I don't think I have any of the other driver interviews apart from one. I think we might just be able to pull Aiden in real quick here. I also get big thanks to Aiden because, well, we'll drag him in, and we'll drag him in here right now. Mr. Aiden Young, we'll have a quick chat to you before we will end this one. And once again, I'd thank you because we're a part of the league because you reached out to myself and other people. So, how was your race? Both of your sprint race and your feature race, if you are there.
I would say pretty good, considering that I joined practice with probably on about 3 minutes to go, I want to say, which was only enough for like one out lap, and that was about it. So I went in qualifying, knowing that I basically had no practice for the race. So I was like, I thought I wasn't going to do that well. So I just but then I was like, okay, we'll just put that behind me and we'll focus on the race, which I did exactly that. And sprint, I just tried, I focused on ahead of me. I never looked back because if you look back, well, that's where you're going to go. Every racer knows that. So I just kept my eyes on what was in front of me, or in other words, eyes on the prize. And then in the feature, obviously, I had the contact with Patrick Hingston on lap 1. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I think it was just a racing incident. I don't think either me or Patrick did anything wrong. I think it's just one of those things where it's kind of it's just inevitable, really, and it's more so you can't really help it in that situation because one car gets loose and then it snaps, because this car is really tail happy. So if it snaps one way, it's going to snap back the other way, guaranteed. But I would say for my feature was definitely the highlight of today, considering after that, when it went into the wall, it gave me some bad aero damage. My spotter was in my ear saying, You got really bad rear wing damage. You'll probably be down on straight line speed. So I was concerned about that, but I didn't think about it, and I still managed to run some of the lap times that the front runners were running. So I'm really happy with that.
Well, Aiden, I have a question for you. Of course, for the people that don't know or that haven't seen it, go back and watch it. On the Sunday last time round at Brands Hatch, Aiden Young found himself as a race winner, of course. So did that give you more confidence coming into today?
Yeah, I told myself, well, I won the Euro League, and that's, I would say, a bit more competitive than the Americas League, because there's a bunch of fast drivers. Obviously, there's drivers like Nicholas Dode, Jurgen Frank, and then there's Marvin Strehel, and Philip Hammer, who's just super quick and on it every single race. So knowing that I won against those guys, that definitely brought me a lot more confidence in this car, because I definitely did push the car harder than what I normally would, because I had that bit of a confidence boost going into this race.
All right, Aiden. Thank you for joining us. Once again, congratulations on the results, and we'll see you out there next week, because if I'm correct, Sunday you're not going to be there.
Yeah, sadly I'm not going to be there, but I'll be watching along, because I'll be at the track racing for real, racing go-karts.
All right, mate. Go and kid it out there, and good luck for that. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
That was Aiden Young, of course. Well, an up and down evening, I would say, for him, Biggles. All in all, I think not the race he would have won it 2 times. He made a little bit of contact, but of course had a good comeback drive after that.
I think, I was impressed because he was having computer issues and things like that before, and basically just managed to squeeze out there for qualifying. And once again, said he was very happy considering he didn't really do any up laps around the track. So that's going to be a good result considering how difficult the track is, you mentioned, and how difficult the track was to a lot of the drivers, catching everybody out there. A few dings, something that'll have to buff out for those cars. But yeah, absolutely. Yep. So GG's to him, obviously, and the other drivers. Great battles, of course, between Xander Reed there and Patrick Higson. They just, we went at 2 for now, so they flipped it for 1 and 2 between each other for the feature race and sprint race. And Dan, yeah, so it's been a pleasure having you into the booth there. Once again, we sorted out those technical issues, and, Dan will always sort it out in the trailer. And this weekend, mate, you're going to be looking forward to it. You'll be back, of course, casting, won't you, here for the European division here of the Porsche Cup Series.
Yes, I will. Also, of course, don't forget, guys, we have more coming up, of course, on the JPB YouTube channel. On the Friday evening, basically, we will have the SRL GR86 from Brands Hatch, which is going to be a exciting one. Then on Saturday, we will have the VWSC Historic from the Oschersleben circuit. So that's going to be an exciting one too. We will have me and James on that too. And then on Sunday, we will have Porsche Cup Round 2, of course, from the Global One. Also from VIR, the same race, different drivers though involved in that one. Then we will also have Round 1 of the Radical Sim Racing World Series on Sunday. So look forward to that one too, ladies and gentlemen. And also the IGP Fun Round number 2 from Mosports. That's all we will have for this week. I thank you all for watching. Biggles, has been amazing once again to be alongside you in the booth. Thank you for being here, and of course, thank you for everyone to make this possible. And once again, a big thank you to our sponsor Blackout for making these events possible. That's it for today for us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the action out on track, and we're going to see you next time. Bye bye.